The school football coach told us at every practice to stay alert. I played defense, and he taught me the dual art of anticipating and tracking the enemy. Knowing what to expect was the key to a successful defense. I wasn't that good, but I still managed to get a full scholarship to an NCAA D3 college where I majored in business. In my junior year, I worked on a project with Lucille, who was a little plump and red-haired. I was teamed up with a girl with an outgoing personality. We got married in the summer after we graduated from college. Our junior year project was good enough for both of us to get an internship at one of the big companies in town, Malcolm Precision Instruments. She was in sales and I was in accounting. This is enough to understand what our strengths are. We love our girls. After the third one, we gave up trying to have a boy. The last of them left the nest a little over a year ago. After a week of such silence, dinner became eerily quiet. I decided we needed to do something, so I planned a vacation for Lucille and I to the Smoky Mountains near Gatlinburg. We both love country music, so I figured we could catch some artist on his way to or from stardom. There were plenty of leaf-strewn trails. Mountain trails will let us put our favorite boots to good use. A cozy cabin with a king bed will hopefully be the icing on the cake of our reunion. It worked. We had a great time laughing, smiling, dancing, and hugging. We reminisced about the low points and highlights of those years, when we were too busy preparing for the next milestone. Next on the list was to stop and smell the roses in our lives. The house had a hot tub on the deck that we enjoyed using, not to mention doing it often. About a month after we returned, breakfasts and dinners reached a new level. Well, friendship is probably the best word to describe it. Our love life remained at a renewed level, and I made it a rule to go for pleasant walks every 2 or 3 weekends. Life as an empty nester was wonderful until the company's annual Christmas party. Lucille, who works in sales, seems to know everyone, but I, who works in accounting, don't know many people. I didn't feel the need to talk about inconsequential things like other people did. If the conversation turned to controversial topics like crooked NBA referees or how big college sports programs cheat college athletes, I would happily join in to add my 2 cents. So, at corporate events, we usually split up and then tell each other stories. Then we move on to foreplay and real play. However, this year something was different. There have been lots of changes at work, like downsizing employees, moving to remote work, and a number of other reasons. My usual crowd has thinned out. I walked around taking in the scene and thought about which group Lucille was hanging out with. I hadn't found out yet. I spoke to Abby, one of her colleagues. "Have you seen Lucille?" She looked down and to the side. "No," she said. "She'd just been here with Brent and Kevin. Brent Masters is her boss and Kevin is another colleague." Abby's behavior made me think there might be something going on, so I looked over to see if I could spot her with Brent and Kevin. They were laughing and fully dressed with drinks in their hands. I tried to convince myself not to get involved and caught her eye from across the room. She brightened up, and she walked over to me and said hello. Duncan decided to come back to reality. This was followed by a kiss on the cheek, which wasn't what you'd expect from someone who was hiding something. In fact, I wanted to see how the other half was having fun. She led us to a group of salespeople and support staff, who were telling jokes. They were pretty cute. After the party, though, I felt like there was a subtle shift in our relationship. It started with her missing breakfast and dinner one morning. She was going to an early meeting. The next week, she didn't have dinner. Once again, there was a similar decline in our sex life for some kind of meeting. Looking back, it was the start of something bigger. By spring, Lucille began to go missing, or at least frequently disappear from home. Looking back, I understand how I missed it, because it all started small and grew gradually. In April, she brought home a special quarterly bonus that made it seem almost worthwhile. Everything fell into place while planning for Memorial Day weekend. At dinner, one of those that now increasingly passes in silence, Lucille suddenly spoke. "Duncan, we need to talk. Yes, the company is hosting a golf tournament. I'll be away from Tuesday until next Sunday for the top Independence in Myrtle Beach event. It'd be great to stop by somewhere along the way, but I'm not sure where we'd fit in. You're not going and you're not suited to the event as you work in accounting. I can pay for sure, but I don't think you'll be going. You'll have reps on call 24/7, Duncan. You'll be the only one in the office without a partner. The company is planning a few trips with reps, and it'd be awkward for me to be the only one with my spouse. No offense, but it'll look like my obsessive husband doesn't. I'm sure you trust his wife and have to look after her. I'm not saying that you are like that, but it will look like that. Do you want this, Lucille? What about our plans to go to the Keys with the girls? Oh, damn, you're right, I forgot about this. Well, she shook her head. I'm really sorry. It's a corporate event, and even if I remembered, I would still have to go. Can't we change the date? The girls have already made their plans for the summer. Why don't you change the date for Bren's sake? It's not like this will be your first time having sex with him. I don't understand what you're saying. What I'm trying to get across is that after the Christmas party, you and Brent had dinner several times a week, first with someone else and then alone. After your first meeting at the NCE Night Motel on the day before Valentine's Day, you've been organizing sex marathons every week in different motels. You're planning to leave me and Sheila, his wife, after Memorial Day. You're using these golf competitions as an excuse. I can see fear, awe, guilt, and surprise on Lucille's face. Where do you get such crazy ideas? You forgot or just didn't know that Brent is a serial womanizer. He's a womanizer, so he's already dealt with several other women in your department. You're just the latest. It's said that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. To deal with you, he kicked Brenda Thomas to the curb. That was a bad move. She never liked you because you're better than her, and you show it off to her. Everyone knows you're the most beautiful woman in the sales department, but Brent got really angry when he broke up with her right before Valentine's Day to start seeing you. This left her alone and rejected on the romantic holiday, still upset from Brent's cold-blooded betrayal. She came to me you organized a group Valentine's Day dinner and confronted me. You were so caught up in your new boyfriend that you didn't even notice. She filled me in on his modus operandi, the names of his favorite restaurants and the days he could take without arousing his wife's suspicions. Oh, and his plans for your excursion. Also works in sales and said there'll be no meetings with company reps after Memorial Day. I paused. You knew your friend Brent was married, didn't you? Madison used to regularly take part in beauty pageants. He also has 3 kids, although they're still in high school. The company's been hit hard. From Lucilla's face, I could tell this conversation didn't go as she expected. She shook her head slowly. I continued, I didn't know he'd left Brenda or that he was married with children still in school. She answered quietly, neither one nor the other. You thought he was a happy bachelor and that you were so sexy that he couldn't keep his hands off you for some reason. This handsome guy is without a woman and can't wait to jump into bed with you. I thought you were smarter. You should know that you have no decency or morals, but I was pretty surprised to find out that you're not very bright either. I woke up with a start. What's okay during our marriage? I always gave you what you wanted. We didn't need such a big house, but you wanted it, so we bought it. The interior is what you wanted. Your car, your clothes, our vacations. Think about it. Whenever we had disagreements, I gave in to your wishes. So if you want to get a divorce, I'll file for divorce tomorrow. Lucille couldn't stand it. She jumped up, threw away her chair, and screamed in my face. Never, she said. I won't give you a divorce. My fling with Brent is just a fling. It means nothing. I interrupted. It's just sex. It doesn't mean anything. You only love me. One phrase about betrayal after another. Save your breath. You have no choice. When I saw you giving yourself to your new boyfriend, he is not my boyfriend, she screamed. When you let your boyfriend take you away from me, it was all over. I'd already filled out the paperwork and got everything ready. Lisa, our eldest, saw me leaving the lawyer's office and cornered me. She knew about you and Brent. I didn't ask how, but she convinced me you weren't that stupid. She said you'd break up with him as soon as you came to your senses. So since I still love you, I listened to her and told the lawyer to wait until you came forward, one way or another. The papers are already ready for you to wake up. Instead, you wanted to destroy 2 marriages, hurt his 3 children who are still in school, and also 3 of our girls, so that you could get yourself another evening of sex. In other words, you took the plunge. Lisa knows. Lucille seemed defeated and shocked. All 3 know. Lisa told them they're waiting for me to tell them what you want one way or another. So, when are you and Brent leaving? I'm not sure I want to go. Of course you do. Start getting ready as we talk. Brent's wife is having the same conversation with him today. She will kick him out so he has nowhere to go. You can stay in the refundable apartment in Myrtle Beach for a few more days while you figure out what to do with the rest of your life. Lucille began to cry. Do our 24 years together mean nothing to you? They obviously mean more to me than to you. You were the one who threw them away at the Christmas party. Instead of coming to your senses, you became Brent's temporary entertainment, until he, of course, moved on to the next one. At least I have the respect and decency to divorce you before I start looking for someone decent. There are still such women out there, and I believe that I am worthy of one. What about me? You don't meet the criteria.